On January 22, 2013, the Philippines unilaterally filed the South China Sea arbitration case with the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea. On July 12, 2016, the tribunal announced its ruling on the case, resulting in the US-China standoff in the South China Sea. The arbitration denied China's 9-line. What conclusions did the arbitration make? The arbitration denied China's historic rights to the South China Sea. It concluded the historical navigation and fishing by China in the waters of the South China Sea represented the exercise of high seas freedoms, rather than a historic right, and that there was no evidence that China had historically exercised exclusive control over the waters of the South China Sea or prevented other states from exploiting their resources. It also concluded that, among the 7 reefs and islands China currently exercises effective control, only Yongshu Island, Huayang Island, Nanshuan Reef and Chigwa Reef were entitled to 12 nautical miles of territorial sea. None reefs or islands in the South China Sea were entitled to a 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone. Why the arbitration invalid and illegal? First, the South China Sea Arbitral Tribunal is not an international court. It has no connection with the International Court of Justice under the United Nations system in The Hague. The tribunal merely used a courtroom at the Permanent Court of Arbitration for its hearings. Second, the tribunal, made up of 5 arbitrators, lacked neutrality. Aside from Professor Rüdiger Wolfram from Germany appointed by the Philippines, the other 4 were appointed by Judge Shun Ji Yanai of Japan, who actually manipulated the tribunal. Third, the tribunal exercised jurisdiction over a dispute it should not have had jurisdiction over, and proceeded with the case in the absence of one party, which led to factual misjudgments. Fourth, double standard conclusion. Taiping Island, one of the largest naturally formed islands in the South China Sea, covers an area of 500,000 square meters, with fresh water, vegetation, and permanent residents. Its area is more than 150 times that of Japan's Okinotorishima. While it was ruled as a reef, the Okinotorishima is allowed to support a vast exclusive economic zone. For 9 years, the arbitration reflected the dilemma faced by small countries caught between great power rivalries. Former President of the Philippines Benigno Aquino III bet on the United States, ultimately turning the Philippines into cannon fodder in international politics. In contrast, Rodrigo Duterte chose an independent and pragmatic path. Now, Marcos Jr. seems to be leading the Philippines back into the same old predicament. Will the country continue being a pawn? Or, will it learn from history and return to the right path of good neighborliness and shared development? Manila must make the choice.